Hey, welcome back to Custom Crafted Cartridges. Today I'd like to take a little bit of time and talk about some rounds I made up for my Marlin 336 and 3030. Today I'd like to talk about this round in particular. I'm trying to duplicate Hornaday's factory LEVERevolution round. So I'm using Hornaday's 160 grain FTX with a polymer tip. None other than Hodgkin LEVERevolution powder, of course. It's going to be backwards, but still see that. And the case is a once fired Winchester case, first time reload with factory ammo to begin with, first time reloading the case with a CCI large rifle primer. I've got two different books here that state two different things for max overall charge for that particular round that I was trying to create. So when that happens, I personally take those overall max charges, add them together, divide them in half. That's my starting point for my max overall charge, and take about 10% off of that and then go from there. For this particular round, that came up to 32.3 grains of powder, and the book was calling for 2.54 on the overall length. I did 3, sent them down range. Keep in mind, it was only 50 yards, open sights. Then 3 rounds, the average velocity was 2207, which is a far cry from Hornaday's 2400 feet per second they claim they can get on their factory stuff. And the group just wasn't impressive at all. I think I had 2 kind of, over to the left a little bit and maybe in an inch circle, and then maybe like another inch to the right of my target. I had another one flyer over there, and I was like, what the heck? It wasn't the best. Definitely, obviously at 50 yards, you were keeping them probably in a 2.5 inch, 3 inch circle. You could kill something, but I wasn't overly impressed with it. So I decided to increase the powder. So I increased the powder on the next couple that I made to 33 grains. So I increased it 0.7 of a grain of powder to 33 even, and then I decided to go with the max overall length for the 30-30, which is 255. I was almost there already, another 100 of an inch. So let's just go max overall length. That's what I did. Sent 3 down. They averaged 2244, which still isn't no 2400, but I was impressed with the group. I was able to keep 3 rounds with open sights at 50 yards inside of a 1 inch circle. I was using a milk jug lid for my center target, and they were all within that milk jug lid at 50 yards with open sights. Some guys probably wouldn't brag about that. I say not too bad for open sights at 50 yards on a brush gun that I'm definitely not shooting over 100 yards with, because come on, we're talking a 30-30 here. And even if you're 0 to 100, it dives off severely after that. And so I was pretty impressed, but overall I'd still like to mess around and see if I can increase the powder, get the velocity up there, and what that might do to my group. I guess the only other thing I would say is, has anybody else out there messed around with this particular load? In that particular gun, like a Marlin 336, and had more than 33 grains in a better group? Feel free to comment, let me know. Here in the future, I'd like to experiment myself and up it by another, half a grain or something like that at a time, and go from there, chronograph it out, see what we can't get for some better velocities. I know both my books, one of them says 2300. This one over here says 2362 is max velocity at 35.5 grains plus, so that's a compressed charge. And then this other one's like 37 grains. That's Hornaday's book theirself. I just find it funny how they're still only saying 2,300 feet per second when that's their max load, but yet they claim they can get 2,400 feet per second. Of course, who knows what they're using for a test rifle again. Barrel length matters and all them good things. So we'll figure out more in the future here, but when I have time, I'd definitely like to load up some more of these. This particular one right here with 33 grains with a max overall length of the 255, I did take a black bear last fall at about 45 yards, and it did the trick. And he maybe made it 35 yards after I hit him, and that was it. So that definitely did the trick. But I wouldn't mind seeing him going a little bit faster. But at the end of the day, obviously, we're reloading here, right? And when I say, I'm reloading for accuracy, that's half the truth, I guess. Obviously, reloading is an art in its own, and I love doing it. It's just something I can do in my spare time. I like to do in my spare time. It's kind of just something I love to do. You know, you could have a bad day at work and come home and start reloading and everything's all better, right? But anyway, so yeah, in the future here, I'd like to figure out, mess around with it a little bit more, see if I can increase velocities, get that more up towards that 2400 mark. And I'd be curious to see what my group does. But I was definitely impressed with 33 grains. So at the end of the day, if I do increase it, get better velocities, but my group isn't as good, I'm going to come back to that 33 grains and that 255 measurement and call that good, because who cares how fast they're going? I like that group. That's a pretty good group, I would say, at 50 yards of open sights to be inside a 1-inch circle with 3 rounds. And it feels, really good to know that that's something that I made and created and did that good at the end of the day, right? So I think, yeah, I'll come back and have to do a second video on this here in the near future and go from there. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks.